However, before we start making money, I'm willing to pay my own dues. Next go round, once we have some reserves in the business account, then I'll start letting the business pay my real estate. And Natasha came off rip. Natasha also came to the business with debt because she had been borrowing off of a commission that she hadn't closed on yet to get by. So once her deal switched over to our business and she closed on it, she had to pay e-commission back. She had to, pay all these other things. And then I think it was $500 left that was supposed to go into the business, because 10% of all of our deals was going to go into the business. So it was literally $512 from, I think, a $5,000 or $6,000 deal. Only 500 of those dollars went into the business because she had things to pay back. And the way I saw it, that wasn't a profit because of how much Andrew spent on her initially. So all he did was recoup what he spent on her. And Andrew had already vented to me about the fact that he spent a lot of the business budget on Natasha alone. Now, I knew he was frustrated about that, but that wasn't for her to know, because Andrew and I collaborated a lot on the back end business. However, we're at the meeting, and they get to the point of the meeting where the guy is going over how to register the business. I noticed that Natasha's on her laptop trying to register our business. So I leaned over. I was like, "Hey, friend, I already did it. I already registered us." She stopped for a second. By now, her friend comes in, the girl that she was courting to be her assistant. I had met her already, sweet girl. But Natasha had already found a new friend. So she wasn't, she had already had a new Dina. And my cards had told me that Natasha did start feeling herself, and she started feeling like, I can do everything Dina does. And Natasha was ready to get out of my shadow, but I didn't know that I had casted a shadow on her. Natasha placed herself in there. I never wanted her to be there, but for a while she was comfortable under my shadow until she became the Winning Team Realty, closed our first deal, got a hint of entrepreneurship, start, having some pride and confidence in herself. Now it's just like, fuck Adina, I got an assistant. I got my new contacts. I don't need Adina. I see what she do. I could do it too. I ain't had no problem with that either, because I love for a woman to feel good about herself. It doesn't make me feel threatened at all. So I was telling her I already registered her. She fell back for a second. Her and her friend, Brandy, the girl she was courting to be her assistant, they were talking about having troubles logging on to the Wi-Fi. And then I noticed that she continued to try to register us. So I was like, Natasha, you're creating a duplicate. Why are you doing that? She stopped. Then she picked up her phone and she texted me. And when my phone went off, I looked at it and she was asking me, can I send her the passwords to the account that I just set up with the city that I registered us for? And I looked at her, just like this. I was like, girl, why are you texting me? You sitting right next to me. She was like, oh, I just didn't want to interrupt the group talking too much. But this wasn't that kind of meeting. It's an interactive meeting. Everybody's talking. Her and her friend girl, the new assistant, they're sitting here talking to each other. But you text me because you didn't want to interrupt the meeting? I didn't get it. It was weird to me. But Natasha had been acting funny. So I was just like, all right, okay. I'll share the password. I sent it to our group chat. Me, her, and Andrew. Andrew responded and he said, what's this? I said, it's the password. Password to what? We're at the city meeting. Oh, no, I said, Natasha just asked me for the password to the account I just registered us for. I just decided to share it in the group. He said, I'm confused. What meeting? What meeting are you at? And why are you registering? Why are you at a meeting registering a business that you quit? I was like, the fuck? So I looked at that message and I looked at Natasha. Natasha was like this, sitting right next to me. Wouldn't look up, wouldn't make eye contact. I stayed looking at her like this for a good 2 minutes. I wanted her to look at me and acknowledge what the fuck Andrew was talking about. She wouldn't look at me. And now I see they are kicking me out of the business. So the first thing came to my mind was murder, to be honest, because my temper is like that. I wanted to put my hands around her throat because she would not face me. And now I'm like, Natasha, why won't you face me? Now I'm wondering, Natasha, friend, why won't you look at me? Because you saw that message Andrew just sent. Why won't you look at me? No. Because I felt myself falling apart on the inside and about to lose it in front of these good business folks, these good white folks. I didn't say a word. I closed my planner, got my purse, and I walked out in my Louboutins, okay? In my bad bitch business dress, with my head held high, trying to get out of the building before I lost it. Got into the parking lot, called Andrew. What do you mean a business I quit? I didn't quit. So now we're having it out in the parking lot because Andrew is going in on me, telling me that I am not a part of the business. And saying lots of hurtful things to me. I am losing it. I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. We are having it out. I'm embarrassed, but tears are coming down my eyes. Because I'm like, the fuck is going on? They are booting me from the business. My best friend. And the nigga I was fucking. The girl who didn't want to do the business when he asked her. And he had been asking agents for a year. Everybody turned Andrew down until he got to me. I had enough faith in myself and I had enough faith in him to make this happen. And he wanted to do that business for a year. It wasn't until he met me that it became a business. All it was a dream until he met me. Then it was the Winning Team Realty. Natasha would have still been at Gold Street. And to be honest, Natasha got to Gold Street because I left Next Home. She left the first brokerage I was at where I met her at. When I left, she left. And she asked me to get her in at Gold Street. I did. I set her up on an interview with the brokers. Told her how I negotiated to not pay them any office fee for 3 months. She piggybacked off me. Everything I've ever done, she piggybacked. So now we're going off. And so I was like, oh, okay. I'm the registered agent. If I'm not a part of this business, there is no business. I will dissolve this bitch right now. And he said, do it. I'll create another one without you. Ain't nothing to a LLC. When he said that, I was like, wait a minute. Y'all really doing this? What did I do? What did I do? You just bring all the negativity. You don't know how to be a team player. You're not flexible. All these other things. And I was like, y'all are betraying. Ain't nobody betray you. You did this to yourself. That is what he was saying to me. I end up throwing up. Because he was going in. I couldn't believe that a man who had told me he loved me the night before. Remember, y'all, because I told Andrew, he started telling me I hurt him and telling me he loved me and all that stuff. And I had to ask him to not get into all that feeling stuff. All I wanted to know was where he stood with the business. He didn't want to talk about that. He wanted to talk about feelings. That's why I told him to call me tomorrow and let me know what you want to do. I talked to Natasha that morning and asked her about me being at that event. She confirmed I was registered. But y'all already talked to each other and decided that I wasn't a part of the business anymore. That's why she couldn't look at me. I was devastated. Long story short, I got home. And as soon as I got in the house, I fell to the floor and I let out the most blood-curdling scream I've ever heard come out of my body. And I feel like I felt the whole earth shake and tremble. Friday, July 26th. I don't know what y'all was doing, but if you felt something around 2 o'clock that wasn't right, I shook the whole heavens and earth when I screamed that pain, the betrayal,